let me take a time out and say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Let me say good morning also to those of you who are viewing, I should say, GBN TV, whether you're viewing Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20. Good morning and welcome. It's to the point. It's Thursday, the 6th day of February, within the year 2025. What about our folks via our social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels? Good morning. Those of you also who are listening out there in the diaspora, of course, via various third-party mediums you have chosen to listen and view us by. Welcome. Let me say good morning to, of course, my guest with me this morning, Inspector Ryan Smith, with us this morning, and of course, we are representing the traffic department of the RGPF this morning here on today's program. Inspector Smith, good morning to you and welcome.
Pleasant morning to you, GT, and pleasant morning to the listening and viewing public.
All right. Well, I should probably get it and say happy independence to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, and same to you.
All right. Let's get into the conversation this morning. Our conversation will center around this morning road safety, the independence celebrations that are coming up. Primarily, of course, focus. If I get to start off by asking the question, more or less, what are the key focus, especially for road users, I would say, around this as we're getting into the independence celebration and so forth? What are the key, focus, our expectations, more or less, for road users?
Well, as a nation, we are celebrating 51 years of independence, and we know Independence Day, the Independence Day is Friday, the 7th of February, which is a holiday. So we have a long weekend by Grenadian standards, and for 2024, we had 2,915 accidents. For 2023, we had 2,696. There we have a 7.8% increase of accidents. So we are concerned that is a long weekend. We know that person will, what we say would, local parlance, people would lime and so on and consume alcohol and so on. So we are concerned about the safety and our roads for concern about the safety on our roads. So there we are asking person that if you drinking, don't drive, and if you're driving, do not drink, because we know what our alcohol can do. Alcohol gives you a false sense of confidence, and we all know what a false sense of confidence can do. Driving requires coordination, and alcohol do affect that. Your cognitive ability is also affected in terms of judging speed and distance. Also, someone who is under the influence of alcohol take a longer time to recover from the glare of an approaching vehicle, from the headlights of an approaching vehicle. So these are the and we know that every second second while driving is important. So hereby we asking person not to consume alcohol if you're driving, and if you decide to consume alcohol, you can get a designated driver for the weekend.
All right. You spoke a whole lot about the alcohol consumption and so forth, but there are always those other issues that surface a whole lot, especially when the holiday season that you mentioned, we can have a bit of an extended weekend, which kicks in from tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We know there are drivers who, as we were saying in the local talk, want to take that chance.
Yes.
You understand? What's the tolerance level from the RGPF as regards to that?
Well, where alcohol is concerned and alcohol and driving is concerned, it's zero tolerance from the RGPF, because we know the dangers of driving under the influence. And as a matter of fact, we had 9 fatal accidents last year, and some of those accidents were alcohol related. Some of the accidents were alcohol related. Also, driving under the influence carries a fine of $5,000 for first conviction, and a second conviction $10,000 and 2 years imprisonment. So the legal system take that very seriously, because when you look at the fines and the imprisonment, measurement.
All right.
That is attached to them.
All right. Tell me, I'm expecting that the police will be out in the traffic checks and so forth over the next couple of days.
Yes,
that
we
will
would
be heightened up a wee bit.
Yes, we will be out doing our traffic checks and so on. So we'll heighten our presence as well.
All right. All right. So individuals who may be contemplating, driving without the proper documentation and so forth, maybe they should refrain from that.
Refrain from doing so.
All right. Hey, folks. So let's get it ready. Of course, I know around this time of the year there will be arrangements in terms of the traffic for Rider RGPF, especially in terms of the movements, especially even towards the Kirani James Stadium and so forth, where most of the activities will be taking place tomorrow. Tell us a wee bit about that arrangement, if you do have that information to share with us this morning.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would like to speak on the Independence Extravaganza,
Okay.
Which will be taking place at the Grenville Bus Terminus on Thursday, the 6th of February, 2025. That event is scheduled to start at 4 p.m. and conclude at midnight.
All right, and that's in Grenville 4 today, right?
Yes, that's in Grenville 4 today.
Okay.
That event will start with a flambeau march, which starts from Gladstone Road onto Jubilee Street, Ben Jones Street to Victoria Street, and onto the bus terminus. Now, the parking for VIPs would be on the compound of the bus terminus, and that will be adjacent the police outpost there. Parking for the general public will be on the streets of Grenville.
Okay.
Also, the emergency route for that event will be the gate by the NIS onto Jubilee Street, and onto Gladstone Road.
All right, so that is for St. Andrews for the Independence Extravaganza in St. Andrew for later on this evening.
Yes, for later on.
So that's the route where there's parking and no parking. And the time factor for that event in terms of when those arrangements will be kicked in.
Well, those arrangements will be kicked in from 4 p.m.
Yeah,
from 4 p.m. Yes.
4 p.m. I also saw a notice put out by the RGPF in reference to the traffic lights and so forth in the tongue of Grenville for the events coming up. I think they were saying there will be areas where the police will be there giving directions. Yes, following the traffic light directions.
Yes, so there will be persons stationed at those different locations to direct the traffic.
Right.
So once a police officer is there, the police officer give precedence over the traffic light itself. So you should follow the direction given by the officers at those different locations.
All right, and those of course arrangements will be in effect up until the end of the event.
Yeah, until the end of the event.
On the end of the event. All right, let's come to of course the parish of St. George. And we know tomorrow Independence Day, folks would like to have an idea of how the traffic arrangements will, of course, and what time it will be kicking in. Also, the areas where individuals may be permitted to park and not allowed to park and so forth. Let's get that bit of information.
So the military parade and rally is scheduled to start at 3 p.m. and conclude at 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. That will be at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. At the Kirani James Athletic Stadium on Friday, the 7th day of February 2025. Now, all vehicular traffic entering the National Stadium will use the Queen's Park Ring Road from its intersection with Cherry Hill or Monkrush and the Humbug Bridge at the River Road end. Now, there will be some no entry sign, and those roads will be turned into one way. So vehicular traffic will not be allowed in the following areas: Old Fort Public Road from its junction with Locust Street, Cemetery Hill from its junction with Church Street, the Ring Road from its junction with Monkrush Public Road to the direction of the Humbug Bridge. Now, VIP parking. Now, at the athletic stadium, there will be only parking for VIP. So only VIP will be allowed to park at the National Stadium, and those persons will be identified by vehicular passes.
Okay.
Now, parking for the general public will be at the following areas, and a shuttle service will be provided, so person will be shuttled to the athletic stadium from the parking location. So the parking locations are upstairs the bus terminus,
okay.
upstairs the bus terminus, the the NIS car park, Ariza car park, Tantin Recreation Ground, and Old Trafford, Recreation Ground. So these will be the parking areas for the general public. We are advising persons. If you're coming from the eastern main road, that direction and Grandlands, you should utilize the Tantin playing field, and Old Trafford. Persons coming from the western side, and the Granite Tank Public Road. In Granite Tank Public Road, as what we would normally refer to as over the hills, those persons can utilize the bus terminus, the bus terminus car park, the Ariza car park, and the NIS car park.
Okay. All right. So that's basically the traffic arrangement for now.
We also have no parking areas. So there will be no parking areas from the Fish Market and Melville Street all the way up to Grenada Welders at Cherry Hill. There will be no parking on that street. The entire Ring Road will be no parking as well. That's the road that encircles boat stadium. There will be no parking on that road. Also no parking on River Road Public Road from Lacqua Crematorium all the way up to LA Post Lombard.
All right. Let's talk about. I'm assuming there's also going to be that concept of an emergency route. Anything in relation to that?
Yes, the emergency route will be Cemetery Hill.
All right.
So the will be Cemetery Hill onto Old Fort, Locust Street, Church Street, and the General, and onto the General Hospital.
All right. We do for a break. When we come back, we continue with more in terms of the arrangements, in terms of parking, and of course the whole traffic arrangement that relates to Independence and some of the events coming up. Of course, I'll put on that you know more about that when we come back from the break. Stay with us, folks. To the Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Don't touch it out.
Get ready to celebrate Grenada's independence with style and pride. It's Grenada at 51 with Minister Andy Williams and the St. George's Baptist Church. The Pure Grenada Independence Concert. Grenada, you're nice. Saturday, February 8th at the Monrouge Playing Field from 6 p.m. Featuring an incredible lineup of talent. Enjoy performances from the legendary Adjamo, Randy Isaac, Sour Serpent, Rootsman Kelly, Valley Ned, and Young Song. Plus the amazing Sabrina Francis, Laura Lisa, Lion Pride Dancers, and playwright Francis Urias Peters, all backed by the KOS Band. And the best part, this concert is absolutely free. So gather your friends and family and come celebrate Grenada's 51st anniversary of independence with pride. Let's make this a night to remember.
On Sunday, February 9th, the St. Paul's Community Center will come alive with the St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza. It's an explosion of food, craft, exhibition, and art display with performances by Solid the Band, Tamara Songbird St. Bernard, Dash, Lion Pride Percussions, Japs, Jab King, Lisa McDonald, Sakina and the Alpha One Band, Conception Dance Theater, Core Band Comancheros, and more. All the action starts from 12 noon. It's the St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza, a production of the St. Paul Sports, Cultural and Development Organization, and powered by Judah Sound System.
Come and see for yourselves. Come behold what we sell. What a country and tell.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point Classic Radio GBN TV. Once again, with us this morning, we have, of course, Inspector Ryan Smith from the Traffic Department with us this morning, and we're talking this morning, of course, the road safety, independence celebrations, and so forth that relates to how the motorists and pedestrian will use our nation's roads. We also spoke in our previous segment. We spoke about the traffic arrangements that will be, of course, coming into effect for the various events that are coming up that relates to independence. Inspector Ryan, once again, let's continue the conversation. I want to get to the conversation that relates to road safety tips that we'd like to throw out. I know there's always the option of throwing out road tips to motorists, pedestrian as a whole, and the do's and don'ts, especially when it comes around. I mean, also in our previous bit, we spoke a lot about the use of alcohol and so forth, but there are always those other tips that, we like the motorists and pedestrians to adhere to, especially when it comes to their safety for the next couple of days. And it always doesn't generalize just for independence only. The way you use our nation roads, the safety aspect is also important, and if you carry those tips right through, doesn't matter if it's independence or whatever event that may be taking place, road safety is always important, especially for the motorists and independents. So give us some of those tips that you would like folks to adhere to, especially for the upcoming days ahead.
Yeah, well, we have also seen a number of accidents involving pedestrians.
Yeah.
So we want pedestrians to be more cautious in the way that they use our nation road in terms of walking. If you're walking and there is no sidewalk available, you need to walk on the right side of the road in the direction in which you are going, so that the vehicle that is approaching will approach you from the front.
Yeah.
And you need to cross well before you reach a corner, so a blind spot. If you need to cross, you need to cross well before those areas. Also, that once you are walking during the cover of darkness, we know most persons go and walk all in the morning and so on to get the exercise in both morning and evening. You need to wear bright color clothing, color that will all show up, and then you can also use reflectors as well. Also, the music, most of us will walk with earplugs and so on in our ears, listening to music and so on. So we want persons to be aware of that, because you can times you will hear a vehicle before you actually see it. So we want you to use your five senses when you walk in to ensure that accidents do not occur.
Okay. All right, so that's just some of the tips. A question that always comes to mind, and I was having that conversation with some youngsters the other day, and in relation to that, and I said it's something I will always ask the police: the use of pedestrian cross. From the traffic department, what's the proper way that pedestrians should use a pedestrian cross? Folks always feel, well, they have the right to cross it because it says pedestrian cross. How does someone get to know that it's okay for them to cross? If I can ask that,
Well, first of all, once you decide to use a pedestrian crossing, you need to stand away from the curb or the edge of the sidewalk, and you need to indicate to the driver that you need to cross. So you need to make eye contact with the driver, and you can put up your hand indicating that you cross. You wait until that vehicle stop, all right? And vehicles coming from both ends, so you wait until the vehicles that are coming from both ends stop. Then you go across quickly, but you do not run. Also, if you're carrying a child or someone with you, by guiding them and holding their hand, make sure that you hold onto the hand firmly. Especially with children, normally children would have things in their hands, and if you're not holding their hands and something follow, they will tend to go back for it. So you will run, but you go across briskly, and to ensure that safety is exercised.
All right. In reference to this folks with that has a disability, if I could say, and use that, we say it like that, and wanting to cross roads and stuff. How is it? How does the driver, especially drivers, folks who are driving the road, how does they give them the authority to cross? Or what should someone with a disability do, especially when they want to cross roads, etc.?
Well, once the person have the use of their hands, they can raise their hand to indicate. If they have some disability, they can raise their foot or give some form of indication. But once somebody is within that area that they need to cross, what we refer to as the cut-off line, the driver needs to stop and inquire whether or not the person want to cross or not. Mm-hmm. We have seen persons congregating within pedestrian area, and within the pedestrian area, that is a no, because normally drivers would stop and then nobody wants to cross. Mm-hmm. So once you're within that area, it is incumbent upon the driver to stop and to ensure that the person gets across safely.
All right. The importance also of pedestrians using bus stops is becoming a bit of a concern. Me being a driver myself, and we see folks have the tendency of standing anywhere and stopping buses and so forth. What does the law speaks to, especially folks who want to get a bus, or as we would say here in local terms in Grenada? What does the law say in reference to that? Where folks will stand anywhere, sometimes where they stand or once they get a bus is not a designated bus stop.
It's not a designated bus stop, and the law has a place indicated as a bus stop. So any place that is indicated as a bus stop, these are the areas where a person should wait for a bus, and not in those areas that are not indicated by the signed bus stops.
All right. So they should actually just refrain from that.
Yes, refrain from that.
What could be the outcome of that, especially for folks especially buses who stop, and sometimes it becomes an inconvenience for other motorists on the road where they will stop and pick these people up?
Well, some people is of the opinion that the pedestrian should be charged, but our law does not provide for that. Mm-hmm. Provide for the person offering the service, and that is the service of the bus dropping them at a particular place for a reward. So only the driver and the conductor that can be liable where law is concerned to be charged, where the law is concerned to be charged.
Right. I mean, I know sometimes the police have a level of leniency in terms of that, because we know it's taken place. Any advice you'd like to throw, especially to road users in respect to that, and in respect to that, of course, to refrain from doing that? Because we know it poses a problem from time to time.
Yeah, it poses a problem because it's add to the congestion. Yeah. Buses stopping at place not indicated by the signed bus stop and taking on persons. We know that they cause obstruction to the regular traffic. So we are asking persons to refrain from doing so. We are also asking the busmen not to play their part in picking up persons off the bus stop, which would add to traffic congestion, because we are out there, and once you are caught, we will do what the law requires us to do.
All right. Hey, folks, we're going to take a break once again. In the next segment, we also will invite you, listeners and viewers, if you do have a question or two in reference to our conversation this morning. We're talking road safety this morning. Also, we talk a bit before we take this break. We, of course, spoke a whole lot in terms of the traffic arrangements for Independence, events that are coming up. We always threw out in this segment there, we threw out some of the road safety tips and so forth that we would like your motorists and the, of course, pedestrian to adhere to. We have much more. When we come back, stay with us, folks. And as I mentioned, of course, your calls are welcome in the next segment. Stay with us, folks. We will be right back.
Get ready to celebrate Grenada's independence with
On Sunday, February 9th, the St. Paul's Community Center will come alive with the St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza. It's an explosion of food, craft, exhibition, and art display with performances by Solid the Band, Tamara Songbird St. Bernard, Dash, Lion Pride Percussions, Japs, Jab King, Lisa McDonald, Sakina and the Alpha One Band, Conception Dance Theater, Core Band Comancheros, and more. All the action starts from 12 noon. It's the St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza, a production of the St. Paul Sports, Cultural and Development Organization, and powered by Judah Sound System.
Come and see for yourselves. Come behold what we sell. Want a country and tell.
Get ready to celebrate Grenada's independence with style and pride. It's Grenada at 51 with Minister Andy Williams and the St. George's Baptist Church. The Pure Grenada Independence Concert.
Grenada, you're nice.
Saturday, February 8th at the Monrouge playing field from 6 p.m. Featuring an incredible lineup of talent. Enjoy performances from the legendary Ajamo, Randy Isaacs, Sawa Sapant, Rootsman Kelly, Valley Ned, and Young Sang. Plus the amazing Sabrina Francis, Laura Lisa, Lion Pride Dancers, and playwright Francis Urias Peters, all backed by the KOS Band.
And the best part,
This concert is absolutely free. So gather your friends and family and come celebrate Grenada's 51st anniversary of independence with pride. Let's make this a night to remember.
Love Fest, who single, who taken, who looking, we want to know, and we're going to find out. February 15th is all about Love Fest. Quarantine Point is the place to be. Boys here alongside the Bad Squad Band going to be live and in living colors, up close, personal, and very intimate. So make sure and get your tickets right now. It's only $100, but if you're coming in couples, it's $180. So make sure and get our tickets right now. Ladies, it's all about you, right? But you don't want everybody to come out. Single people, married people, everybody couple up. Just come out, man. We're going to have a good time, right? Love Fest is a place to be.
Welcome back once again. Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. With us, the traffic department with us this morning. We have Inspector Ryan Smith with us this morning, and we're talking, of course, traffic arrangements for the upcoming events that relates to the independence and so forth. I did invite our listeners and viewers, if you do have a question or two as relates to our conversation this morning and you want to chime in on that, feel free to do so. Inspector, before we continue with our level of our conversation, let's entertain a couple of the calls and then we get to the fact. Caller, your life. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you for answering. Now, my concern, most of the bus stand and them is being used as lineman block and business place. Okay? This is a thing we need to get straightened out. Then, there's certain places, you say vehicles shouldn't be parking. For instance, down in the valley, right on the corner where they have a mango tree, all of you going through Granans Valley, a little vehicle park up there, and there's a block area. Hamburging and creating a whole set of traffic hazard. I don't know why the officers and them can't deal with that vehicle always parking by that mango tree, down by the garbage bin in the valley. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for any response to the caller.
Thank you, caller. We note your concern and we will look into the situation to remedy it.
All right. 435-2041. You have double option of calling in. If you would like to call in via the WhatsApp, feel free to do so. You would like to call direct 435-2041. We didn't get that in this morning as relates to vending at these events coming up, where vending will be permitted and not permitted. I don't know if you have any information you will want to share on that.
Well, vending will only be allowed, persons will only be allowed to vend on the seaside of the main public road along the western main road.
And that relates to for the Independence Celebration.
For the Independence Celebration on Friday, tomorrow. There will be no vending will be allowed along Queen's Park Public Road from Greenbridge to the main entrance of the Athletic Stadium and the Ring Road as well. So these are the areas where there will be no vending and where vending will be allowed.
Okay. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. You're live.
Yes, thank you so much. I just want to raise one issue here with the officer, since he has been dealing with road safety. Basically, I would like him to comment on the arrangement or whatever discussion between the RGPF and maybe NAWASA and maybe the Ministry of Communication or and works, because I want to refer to the works that has been going on in Granville with the laying of the pipes, because we understand this is necessary, and but it's a potential hazard for the motoring public and pedestrian because of our roads are narrow. But the length of time that has been taken to have the roadway where pipe has already been laid, the length of time it takes to have the road been resurfaced is a concern. And we know that this work has started all the way in Maribor for almost a year now, and we have believed that the road has not been resurfaced. Now, I would like the officer to comment on what sort of discussion, between the RGPF and NAWASA and the Ministry of Communication Work, because all parties are involved with regards to the road being left for so long.
All right. Thank you, caller. Of course, I get you get the gist of the caller's question.
Yes. Thank you for your concern. It's a concern of ours, but I'm not privy to the discussion, so I cannot comment on the situation.
All right, but I guess you understand the inconvenience that.
Yes, I do understand the inconvenience that is being caused to those not only to persons using that road, but persons who are living within those areas.
Okay, we do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, and how are you today?
Doing well, sir.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yes, I just want to report a hazard, please. Accident hoping to happen. During the Belmont Park, the entrance to the Belmont area on the Park side.
Belmont Park entrance, yes.
Yes, there's a lot of vehicle parking on the side of the road, and it's accident waiting to happen. I'd like the police to look into that, please, to put a no parking sign along the entrance there to prevent accidents. Because on multiple times it nearly have accidents right there.
Okay.
So once again, caller, thank you for the information, and we'll look into that situation.
All right. Someone is suggesting, you're making a comment, you're suggesting via the WhatsApp that if they think that bus stop should have a pedestrian crossing, what you in relation to that?
Well, I would say yes and no. Yes and no, because it all depends on where that bus stop is actually, the location of the bus stop, whether it is safe in terms of visibility for both the pedestrian and the drivers and the drivers as well, and the motoring public as well.
Okay, we do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to make a comment concerning the pedestrian and the traffic light. I noticed that when the traffic light is green, you still see people crossing, and the drivers will be driving, and it's almost hitting and causing accident. I would advise that they will give the masses, the public, the information, the education that when the green light is on, that's not the right time for them to cross. It's the time for the vehicles to pass through, not the pedestrians. So everybody has to know what to do at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your informative, of course, your contribution this morning. In reference to that, I think more or less it's something that is general knowledge from most individuals.
Yeah, it's something that is general knowledge, and I don't want to say something that happens frequently. Probably something that is not that frequent. But however, once the light is green, once the light is showing green, that is for the motoring public to proceed, and not for persons to go across. Persons should wait until their turn come when the man comes up on the traffic light. The signal with the man that displays the man, that's when they should go across.
All right, and
not
I think
when
there's an
the
option where there's that button on the phone
that
pedestrian
that
press.
you can press as well.
All right. We do have
so
a call.
that your turn can come.
Okay, we have a caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, I'm calling in connection with that Springs Main Road Belmont intersection and Paddock. Now, I know there's supposed to be a line. There was a stop line across that road for vehicles coming from Springs. Now, I notice the line is not there, and so motorists just speed across from Springs onto the Paddock Road. And I know the drivers coming from Paddock going into Belmont supposed to have the right of way, right? But that line is missing. Do y'all intend putting back that line there, or change the direction of the traffic or something? Because that is an area will have a serious accident. Because especially the buses from that side, they just go straight across the road, ignoring any oncoming traffic from Paddock going into Belmont. I would really like to see that stop line go back there, please.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Any response to the call?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that observation. That is something that we look into speedily to correct that situation.
All right. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning to you.
I find some of the bus stops too far, especially when you have disability. You may have a little load to carry, and the distance, some of them too long.
And I think, is there a specific area that you're speaking about?
No, I cannot suggest no, but some of them too long.
Too far.
All right. Thank you.
But thank you for your consideration.
All right. We do have another caller. Caller live via WhatsApp. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon to you.
Good day. Yes. Let's hear your contribution, sir.
Right. GBN is a wonderful station, and it acts for the public, the general public of Grenada. However, you've got Mr. McIntyre who comes on your program every Monday and is a well-do-gooder. Now, sometimes you have policemen on there and they are the law, and people are falling up left, right, and center with a concern. And some of the policemen don't know what's going on. And if they do know what's going on, they say, we'll look into the matter, and they never do, because people never get the matter sorted. It's time for them policemen to act a little bit better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your contribution. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Caller, you may have to lower whatever device you have in the background before we can continue. Have that taken care of, please.
I just took it off.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah. I want to talk about that Red Gate area of the Beaton.
Yes.
I know a lot of talks were done before about having buses run that area, but it's really an area that needs some kind of intervention. We have school children who have to walk from Red Gate all the way up to Beaton, sometimes further than that. And you have other working people who, when coming down from St. David, going up to that area, they have to walk up Red Gate or walk down vice versa. So I don't know if something can be looked into that, that can ease that problem there. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Anything in regard to if you understand the area that the caller is speaking about?
Yeah, I do understand the area. We know that buses do not come down that area, but it's something that we can address with the Ministry of Transport to ensure that something is done.
Okay. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, G, and good morning, officer.
Good morning to you.
Yes. I think with the bus
caller, for some reason, there's a device in your background that is too loud. Caller, one sec, please. There's a device in your background that is too loud?
But you are not there.
Okay.
I'm far from it.
Well, go ahead now.
They need to put back the bus stops on Grandlands Road, because there is very few bus stops. And with the traffic now, people, they have to regulate this traffic and get the buses to stop where they're supposed to stop. Not in the middle of the road and putting out the hand and tell you have to wait and you have to a whole line of traffic. I think, but like the police have no say as far as I see these days. They have no say because nothing is happening. And sometimes I right in Sugar Mill, you go find two wardens stand up on the side of the street, right to a crossing, and people just crossing one and just holding up traffic, and they're not doing anything. So what they have them there for? They should have them to help the traffic as how they're doing by the terminal. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Any response? Any response to the caller?
Well, what I would want to say though is that the wardens that are there in terms of gathering persons, like what happened in front of the bus terminus, you don't want to. It's not the same flow of pedestrians as by the terminus, so it might be difficult to copy that same situation in that area there.
Okay, we have someone is making a contribution here via the WhatsApp, and they're stating that in Grenville, when coming from the MoneyGram or the Western Union to cross is either on either side, vehicles don't want to stop for pedestrians on that particular crossing, and they asked that if the police could actually look into that.
Yeah, we can look into it and see if I'm putting someone at the crossing during the peak hours would normally help the situation.
All right. 435-2041. The lines are open, and if you do have a question or two you would like to ask, of course, Inspector Ryan Smith, feel free to do so in this segment. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we certainly will entertain more of your calls, and stay with us, folks. Don't touch it out. We're coming right back. Don't touch it out.
trip to the sea. Let your hair run free. Or you're a rebel in disguise. Is that the devil in your eyes? We fell in love right by the ocean. Made all our plans down on the sand. We fell in love right by the ocean. Made all our plans down on the sand. We fell in love right by the ocean. Made all our plans down on.
Welcome back once again to our listeners. Welcome back our viewers, those of you by our social media platforms. We thank you for being with us this morning. And we're talking to, of course, Inspector Ryan Smith from the Traffic Department this morning. And, of course, the lines are open. If you do have a question or two that you would like to ask, feel free to do so in this segment. We have approximately just around 10 minutes or so left on today's program. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
We call that call for the bus. They need buses at Red Gate. This in the revolution time, the bus route from that direction was straight to Red Gate because I used to drive a bus, a PTS bus, running from St. George to Red Gate. But afterwards, when they come with the different traffic regulation, they changed it to Beaton. So the traffic department knows about it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm not too familiar with what the caller actually was referencing, but he's speaking of, there was some regulations with the bus before in terms of how it's operating now, something of that sort.
Yeah, but what is actually happening is that the buses are reaching Beaton and turning. So what we need to do is to look to raise the issue with transportation to ensure that we have buses reaching in the Red Gate area as well.
All right. Certainly. So the lines are open. If you do have a question or two, feel free to give us a call and ask a question or two in relations to. I'm not sure if the viewers and listeners have a question in terms of the traffic arrangement as relates to the independence celebrations coming up. I guess more folks are understandable in relation to that. I guess it's plain. Anything else you want to pop in, of course, or like up in on the listeners and viewers this morning in terms of anything in relation to the independence that you may want to touch before we take a wrap for today?
Well, I just want to reiterate that there will be no parking for the general public at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. At the Athletic Stadium, only VIP will be parking at the stadium. So, and that the parking areas for the general public will be at the bus terminus, NIS car park, Ariza car park, Tantin Recreation Ground, and Old Trafford. Now, we want to advise persons that coming along the Eastern Main Road and the Grand Dance area utilize the Tantin and Old Trafford parking areas, while persons coming from the western side and over the hills, are what we refer to as Granitang, utilize the bus terminus, NIS car park, and the Ariza car park.
Okay. We do have another caller via the WhatsApp. Good morning, and you're live.
Yes, I'm so concerned with vehicles parking on the sidewalk. You have it happening from St. George's right down to the Southern Main Road, down to McIntyre Brothers Garage, and the police seem not to be doing anything about it. It's so unfair to the pedestrian to having to swerve into the traffic exposing themselves to danger. I don't know why the police allow it. You see it happening all about and nothing is happening. So could you please look into it?
Yeah, thank you very much, caller. As it relates to vehicles parking on the sidewalk is something that we have been dealing with. As a matter of fact, last week a number of vehicles was clamped for parking on the sidewalk. So it's a situation that we are dealing with at the moment.
All right. We do have a question from someone via WhatsApp, and they're asking the question: what is the reason for removing the speed humps on the dusty highway?
Well, some of the speed hump in that area is pretty high and so on, and they normally would cause damages to persons' vehicles. So they had decided to move a few of them.
Okay.
And that is done by the Ministry of Transportation.
Okay, so that's basically the reasons. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Morning, my brother, and morning, officer.
Good morning.
Officers supposed to lead by example, and I was substantiated. Now, you talk about sidewalk parking right in town on Melville Street. Pedestrians have to be moving from the sidewalk because police vehicles park up on the sidewalk right along with the pan houses there sometimes, and have to venture into the road just to get around. People, we're supposed to lead by example. That's one. Two, police officers driving the government vehicles, they're on cell phone. Could you imagine last week? I come around the Grand Dance roundabout in front of CK. I listen to GBN all the time. I heard something make a beep. I was expecting a call. My phone is in a case. So I just picked up the device because it's on vibrate and a beep. Just picked it up. The traffic was to a call. There is two wardens and an officer. Well, I don't know if he's a member, a full-blown member of the RGPF, but he's in a uniform not with the red. And he pulled me over. I had no problem. He said I am on my cell phone. I said I was expecting a call, and I just picked up the device thinking it was the device. The beep was in the phone, on the radio side. He said, well, you're not supposed to. I said, well, I understand that, my mistake. Anyhow, I'm giving you a ticket for having your cell phone. I said, okay. I let him carry on with his job. But I just saying that you are supposed to lead by example. Too often the time I see busmen, police officers and others doing this thing and getting away with it. And I explained the reason. I just picked up the phone and the phone is in a case. I have to open it up in order to receive or make a call. It was rather unfortunate that I have to go and pay 150 EC, I think it was. Rather unfortunate.
All right, caller.
But some people doing it and getting away with it, and officers are supposed to lead by example. Have a good day, my brother.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. I get any response you want to give?
Yeah, well, as it relates to the use of cell phone by police officers, the law gives permission for that for ambulance drivers and police officers to use their cell phone while on duty. So if they're driving a vehicle on their duty and they get an emergency call, they can answer the call. That's the law make provisions for that.
Okay. All right. 445-2041. We still have some time that we could accommodate a couple more of your calls. And someone is asking a question once again. I'm not sure if you're able to answer this one, if it's within your department, but is there an official pattern to follow in terms of building speed humps? Someone is asking that particular question.
Well, that is something that the Ministry of Works would have to answer, because they are the experts in putting on the humps and so on.
Okay. In terms of the fact, let's go to the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Morning to you. Morning, Mr. Officer.
Morning.
This Red Gate beaten situation with buses.
Caller, you, for some reason, I'm not sure where you are located. Caller, listen, caller, 1 sec. I'm not sure where you're located, but it's a very noisy, of course, hearing from you. So I don't know if you can change your location or the sort, so they actually cleared up.
Sorry, it seems like the breeze might be the problem.
Okay, go right ahead.
The beaten situation, isn't it that the sticker on the bus should be showing from St. George's to Redgate or Beaton Redgate and so on? You know, because there are some buses that they want to stop and drop people away from the ultimate destination that shows up on the sticker. So I think the officers should look at it from that perspective. So that if they have to correct the situation, you're bound to put up to Redgate as a stop. That's complaint that one of the gentlemen made, that people are making complaint, but are the officers listening and trying to implement what should be corrected? Because that's the Grenville situation, where around the MoneyGram, well, the MoneyGram is closer to there too, but there's a crossing there that I've been hearing people complaining for months now. And even pointing out that sooner or later there will be an accident there, because a lot of times people almost get bungs there. But I want to deal with something further. A lot of years ago, a man came here and he noticed how we operate in Grenada, and he described Grenada as Gilligan Island. In the case of the officers and the law and so on, there are laws on our books that are so archaic, so long ago, and it doesn't apply to our situation now, that the officers themselves, I think, should be looking into, especially in a traffic situation, looking into and point out to the various departments where you need changes. For example, to tell somebody that they have to drive a regular little car or so for 5 years before they get a license for the 4 little trucks and them, but you get the other Isuzu, Toyota, and so on around nowadays about. To me, it doesn't make any sense. What could easily be done is let the person come and cross the license with such a vehicle. You don't need to be driving for 5 years, as far as I'm concerned, before you get a license for a simple vehicle. What hard so much about driving? Like, driving is the most complicated thing, and it's making Grenadians look like we are backward and we don't.
Take another 10 seconds and wrap, please, because we have to move on. Thank you so much.
I am pointing, but let me emphasize that just let the person come and cross a license with the truck that they want to drive. Because if you have money and you want to buy a truck, you buy a truck. But you come and cross the license with it and you show your capability, rather than you have to drive for 5 years a regular little vehicle before you get a license for such a thing.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Guess we lost that caller there. 435-2041. 435-2041. We could probably accommodate one more caller and then we get some closing contributions from the officer. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my officer.
Good morning. Go right ahead, please.
Officer, don't story people. You just do a wonderful job for me in tongue. As Miss Jacob, I can work good. Any officer see a drop from boss or whatever it is, they bring in me right where I go. Sometimes they bring me in the bank. Sometimes they bring me in NIS. So, officer, God bless you all, and I'm praying for you all to come out better.
Thank you.
Okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess there's some love been shown there to the officers. Anything you want to respond?
I just want to, as it relates to the issue of person waiting for 5 years to get the license to drive a pickup. What the caller is suggesting, that option is available to person. Yes, so they can just come and drive and get the class of license as well. That is available to them as well.
I guess he probably in reference to the age then. I think is it an issue with age? So say someone who may be of 18 who may have just obtained their driver's
that law has since been amended.
Amended
to lower the age and so on. So that has already been corrected.
Okay. Of course, Inspector Ryan, of course, we get to that point in the morning when we have to take a wrap. Anything in closing before we take a wrap for today?
I just want to advise person to pay heed to the messages this morning in terms of the alcohol and driving, as well as we know that tiredness and alcohol does not mix, because alcohol induces sleep. So we want persons to be aware of those things and decide to and choose the option of a designated driver. We also want persons to adhere to the traffic regulations to ensure that things run smoothly at the different events. The event today and tomorrow as well.
All right. Inspector Ryan, I want to thank you once again for being with us this morning, and best wishes goes out to all our listeners and viewers, and happy Independence all, and same goes out to you, sir.
Same to you.
All right. Hey folks, as we're going to take a wrap for this edition of To The Point, join me again tomorrow. Most likely we'll have another edition of To The Point for you. Until then, have a good one, folks. That's what we say goodbye.